Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. We're in our Tomcat again. So I recently did a video about what's the maximum range kill we could get with the Phoenix Mk60 model, and we managed to get 140 miles, nautical miles, measured from the position where we were at and where the hostile was at when we fired the missile. And then there's someone in the comments, the YouTube comments, said, okay, well that's cool, how high can you fire it? So I looked at Growling Sidewinder because he's already seen how high you can fire it, and you can fire it basically up at 60 degrees or higher, or even about 50 degrees or higher. And what it does is it goes up and just it loses the atmosphere and just skips off into space. And once it gets to 300,000 feet or about there, it just disappears. Anything in DCS that goes above 300,000 feet or thereabouts just disappears because it's not modeled to go any higher because it's in space, and so that makes sense. So at that point, I thought, well, okay, well, if that's the case, then what we better do is try and find out what the maximum ballistic range of this missile is. So what I mean is, from the point at which we fire the missile, how high and how long can we get that missile to go? We won't be able to kill a bad guy with it because anything above 140 miles we found out from the firing point and where the hostile is at that point, it just loses control. It can't hit a target from any longer than 140 miles. But how far can we just make this missile go? If I knew how to target ground targets, I might be able to hit a ground target, but for the time being, I'll just allow it to hit somewhere in the terrain. And the way I figured we'd do this is a bit like throwing a stone. We want to throw it up at a certain angle to get maximum length of throwing a stone. We want to throw it up about 45 degrees, something like that. Now, the challenge we've got with that is that I've done some practices, and if you get the top of the parabola or the top of the curve slightly too high, then it just skips off into space and keeps going. The gravity isn't enough to pull it down anymore, and it just keeps flying away. So you have to be really careful and get it just at the right angle to get the absolute maximum height parabola or curve, but without it skipping off out of the atmosphere. So I think I've got what I've considered the optimal height and range at the moment. Bearing in mind we want this thing to come back down to Earth. So we're going to give it a go. So fly it. Let's get everything set up.
Roger that.
So we're here, we've got a guy charging towards us at about 30,000 feet, 250 miles away. So, oh, there he is.
Copy that. Spiking him.
Got an
Target,
STT.
185 miles.
Now we're going to head up to just over 45 degrees, but below 50 degrees. 50 degrees, it seems to skip into the atmosphere. Skip off the atmosphere, sorry. Pitch 45, 46, 47, fire. That is missile away at 47 to 48 degrees. That should be optimal. And we're going to put a mark here to measure where the missile came off. Okay. Got to maintain the lock, so I'm just going to put myself back down to altitude.
Target, 175 miles.
Off goes Mr. Missile. Missile to space.
Target, 165 miles.
Okay, we're going to get our autopilot set up. Autopilot on. Okay, follow the missile. So, this is the oh, there we go. So, the missile at this point is facing downwards, but it's still heading upwards. And this, we might have caught it a little too high here, and I think it's about to skip off the atmosphere, which is a bit annoying. So, see how it goes. Speed that up. So it's in danger of not... Yes, it's been pulled down. 183,000 I think we saw there. That's probably about the maximum we're going to get and to avoid a skip. It's gone so far 83 miles and it's still going. It's kind of surfing a bit like a BK90 at the moment, which is pretty cool. It's still tracking the target and it's still trying to reach him. It won't, of course, because it just doesn't have that ballistic ability.
Target 125 miles.
And if you're wondering why I'm not trying to hit the target, it just doesn't work beyond 140 miles for whatever reason, programming or whatever, you know. 120,000. Wouldn't it be funny if it did actually hit the target? So he's all out of juice, he's falling down. There's the plane. Haha. So he's in pretty well. Down you go, sir. Come on, surfboard a bit further. And splunk right there. So, that's probably the furthest one I've got by the looks of it. So, that's it there. That's exactly what I got last time. 134 miles appears to be the maximum ballistic fired by Mach 2.3 fighter, or whatever I was doing, at more or less maximum altitude. And like I said, if I aim up another few degrees, once it goes above about 185,000 feet, it just skips off the atmosphere at that point and goes to 300,000 feet and then just dies. So I think that's the maximum ballistic we can do. I challenge anyone to try and beat that, as ever. Yes, of course, it is absolutely stupid and silly and pointless, but it is also good fun. So I hope that is entertaining, maybe, and see you later.